Hi guys, it's me. Very informal video, but I taught a class tonight and I thought the information was so important I wanted to instantly relay it to you. And it's about staying safe on the internet. Not only from clients violating your privacy, but also, outing is kind of a trend in the community that women use against each other for retaliation, or boredom, or reducing competition, all types of reasons people out each other. And you don't have time for this shit. You need to fucking work. So let's protect you from getting outed and to keep yourself safe from clients potentially finding you, stalking you, harming you, robbing you, etc. There's a bajillion reasons why you don't want people to be able to track you or expose you based off of any one reason why anyone would be able to. So let's get into it. I have several different types of security that I want to go through. So let's start with the most important way, most common way that people get in trouble. Well, not in trouble, but outed or found out through social media. This is where most of the outings happen, and it's through social media. Most, if not all, social media will sync with your contacts in your phone. And if you don't go and specifically turn it off, your contacts will be synced. It happened to me when I started Complete Escort Guide. The guy that does all the cameras in my house hit up my man. And he said, what's going on at home? And D's like, what are you talking about? He goes, did your chick, write a book about escorting? And D called me. He's like, what the fuck? How does Jimmy have your Instagram? I don't understand. You just made it. And we're boggled. And I looked, and there it was. Contacts were synced. So not only did Jimmy see it, but everyone that knows me saw it as well. And it was a careless oversight. I just wanted to make my social media account. I had a million other things going on. So that's number one. Find it on Snapchat. Another feature about Snapchat that I want you guys to be aware of is they have Snap Maps. So it's a feature that you can only access when you go like this. If you go like that, it zooms you out and shows you a map. And your location, it literally puts your emoji on a map. So anyone that you allow to see will find you on this map. So you have three options. Anyone can see you on the map, only your friends, or you go ghost. I highly recommend you go ghost so that way no one can see where you're at. Friends don't always stay friends. So make sure on Snapchat, your contacts are not synced, and on Snap Maps that you are on ghost mode. Same thing with Twitter. Make sure your contacts are not synced. And, Instagram and all forms of social media, they want to sync your contacts. Facebook as well. Make sure all of that is turned off. Uh-oh, we have dogs. Money. I'm trying to do a very important video. Okay, so we got the social media going. Another thing that can happen to you through social media is there's a website called Instant Checkmate. And I actually have a subscription to this on my website. It's just, I sell it for less, so that way you can have access to background checks. Anyway, one of the features of Instant Checkmate is you can take an email address, type it in, and it tells you any social media accounts associated with that email address. So if you make an account for work and you use it with your government name, standard email address that you use for everything else, if someone searches your email address on Instant Checkmate or a number of other background checks, it will show this email address is associated with this Twitter account. It's associated with this Instagram account. This email address is associated with other email addresses. So even if you think you're being discreet and you're not syncing your contacts, you could be outing yourself just by using your email. So make sure that your email address, you create a separate email for your secret social media accounts. Everything has to be completely separate. There can be no links because all you need is one link to link to everything else. This should be common knowledge, but we all do it because we're lazy. Your passwords. If you have one password that you use for everything, all it takes is one person to figure out that one password. Now they're in all of your social media. Now they can access your emails. And now they can edit or take down all of the ads that you're posting around the internet. They can have access to your website. I mean, absolutely anything and anything under the sun that your email address is associated with, they can now have access to and destroy. So change your passwords often. Make sure that each password you use for each account is completely Completely different. I know it's a pain in the ass, but the repercussions for not taking these measures could devastate you financially and in your personal life. So change your passwords. Your cell phone, location services. You never know who. Hang on, let me compose myself. This one scares me the most. With iPhone specifically, I have iPhone, so this is where I have my most experience. But on iPhone, say you go to the bathroom and you leave your phone out at a Trick's house or any person's house. They can simply go into a text message from your phone and just press share location. Share location indefinitely. And then you have just given permission for that person's phone to track you anywhere you are indefinitely. And I know this because I track my loved ones with their consent. And they track me as well. But all it is just one button. It takes 1 second. So go through your contacts and make sure that your location is not being shared with any of these contacts. And make sure you turn location services off on any app that you don't feel comfortable with. I use location services for the weather. And, you know, some other pretty basic apps like Uber. Things that would need to know your location. So yes, GPS, very, very important. All it takes is one psychopath to figure out where you are, and for whatever reason, you know, could ruin you. So location services, let's take advantage of knowing about them. Sorry, these dogs, they were sleeping when I started shooting this. I'm just choosing which thing I want to go over next, and I'm trying to avoid these bitches. These scrapping bitches. Okay. Let's talk about offshore hosting. So let's go into more internet stuff now. So we did social media. We did the cell phones. Let's talk about offshore hosting. I know you've heard of it before. What is it? It's kind of literal. So it means a website that is hosted in a different country. A lot of escorting websites do offshore hosting because you know, sexual services, escort services, prostitution, whatever it may be, there's different laws in different countries. So as long as the website that you're hosting is in a country where that service or that act is legal, then you're fine. So always consider offshore hosting for your escorting sites. It's not expensive and it's not even difficult. I know it sounds hard because it's foreign, but it's not. There's plenty of sites. You can use .servant. Right here, .servant is really popular. There's a million ones that you can do. So with a little bit of research, you can have access to it within minutes. What else do we got? Oh, another internet security thing is HTTP, right? It's the beginning of how all websites go. But did you know the difference? Here, I want to make sure you can see that. What am I trying to show you? I can't see it because my phone's terrible. But you all know what I'm talking about. HTTP, // But what about when you see HTTPS? S stands for secure. So you want to make sure that any website that you're visiting is secure. Because any unsecure website can take your personal information. They sell it. Whatever it may be, just make sure any website that you're browsing on is HTTPS. There's a website that I use, and it's called DuckDuckGo.com. DuckDuckGo.com is a Google. It's basically Google, only it doesn't store any of your information. It doesn't sell it. Google does. They track you. They take your information and then they sell it to relevant advertisers. You ever notice why ads seem so relevant to your life, things that you actually want to buy? It's because Google is tracking you, and by using Google, you consent to that. DuckDuckGo.com is completely secure. They don't track you, and I even tested it out on my website because I can see where traffic is being referred from. So I did a test, and I logged onto my website through DuckDuckGo, and it didn't say where it came from. So that's very helpful. It did say the city, but it didn't say who referred what device or whatever it was referred to my website. So I've tested that. It is what it says it is. And then, of course, one of the most obvious things is oversharing on social media. And what I mean by that is a lot of people don't realize there's an app that was created by law enforcement or used by law enforcement to identify hotel rooms specifically for sex trafficking. And they can identify a hotel room by the draperies, by the bedspreads, by the carpets, and even artwork on the wall. So if you're in your in-call location or you're traveling, touring, whatever it is, and you're like, oh, look at me in my amazing suite, people can figure out easily where you are based on how much of the room you show them. And there's literally an app for it. Let me find what it's called. I had it before in class. App, hotel room, app, hotel room, finding sex trafficking. New app helps stop human trafficking. It was created in, it's called Traffic Cam. Traffick, Traffic Cam. And this app, it's so popular because it's user submitted. So when you're in a hotel room, all you have to do is just take a picture of it, and it records your location. So there's no like false reports. So this is used by law enforcement all the time. So besides your safety, worrying about weirdos, you have to worry about law enforcement too. I have seen girls on social media post a picture of them in their in-call, and I know where they are because I've worked in that hotel before. So think about this with other providers. If you're ever worried about getting robbed, there's a good chance that people know where you are. So keep that in mind, and especially for psychotic clients. You never know. You always have to assume that whatever you tell people about you will fall into the hands of the very last person ever that you want to see it. So if you live your life knowing that the worst person ever is watching you, you would be far more selective about what you choose to share. Also, when you're driving, I mean, we all love when we get a new car. We're Snapchatting it and you want to see the emblem on the steering wheel. Well, often what gets into that picture while you're driving is street signs. So if you're driving and someone sees the intersection that you're at, and then 5 minutes later you're eating dinner, they can figure out what restaurant you're at based on the intersection. Someone can run up on you in the parking lot. So this is like, there's so many different ways that you have to worry about being safe, and obviously we stress, using condoms, that's safe, and checking in with a friend, and screening clients. These are all great ways to stay safe, but you can do all of those things and still get in serious trouble if your phone contacts are synced, or if someone's tracking you by the GPS, or you just simply take a picture of yourself in a hotel room. These can be, equally as dangerous if you're dealing with the wrong person. So please take your security so seriously. We see people outed all the time. I have no idea how it happened. It could have been a follower. Sure. You're probably 100% right. Your contacts may have been synced. Someone might have reverse looked up your email address associated with the account. We just went over all of the ways that someone could truly, really hurt you, ruin your life, ruin your work. So please take these measures and stay safe. And I'll see you for the next video. Hope this was really helpful. Please take it so seriously.